Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Nerd Chronicles. This your host, the socially awkward nerd, Christian Paul, has entered the building once again. Now, before I go thoroughly in dealing with, the sub-acclaimed Mick Tyler's Red Pillars, whatever it may be, the whole general master as a whole, the incels, okay, the involuntary celibates here, to basically discuss about the issues that's going on, their traumas, as well as, the boss babe traumas, the sit in them traumas, and all that other stuff. Always understand that there's a reason behind the mindset. Always understand that there's possibly some trauma that's actually going on, which may cause a lot of people to react in this manner, right? Case in point, I want to give you like a brief experience, and once I had similar experience where you're dealing with some crazy, messy situationships that have literally gone on, throughout my years of living, and is literally beyond insane, and it could be a possible cause on why a lot of folks in general are going through the manosphere and going through, the hardcore modern feminist route. So, with that, let's take a moment to literally dig into my personal chaos.
Many will want you, but few will invest in you. So what am I talking about here? Listen, there's gonna be a lot of people who like you, who want you, who are attracted to you, but I don't mean any of them are serious about you. And let me not say not any of them. There's gonna be one. There's gonna be more than one. All right, but the reality is that most people are not gonna be prepared and willing to put in the work. So do not confuse desire with value, and understand that if they're unwilling to do what's necessary to create a healthy relationship, you don't need to be entertaining them. If you're looking for something serious, if you're looking for something real, you cannot entertain temporary people. So you got to start to evaluate very quickly who just likes the idea of being with you versus who is actually trying to be with you. Now, granted, there's more to it than that, but let's just start with that foundational piece, because I see so many people getting caught up in the attention they get from someone, getting caught up in the desire that person expresses, but that individual isn't actually putting in the real work, isn't doing their part, isn't healthy enough to have a good relationship with you. And you got to look at yourself. Are you even healthy enough right now? But either way, we've got to be smarter, be wiser about who we engage with and who we try to establish real relationships with. Because some people are just here for a temporary time. Some people are just trying to waste your time. Some people are just trying to get what they can get and be out. Be mindful of that. Don't let your time be wasted. Don't let your energy be wasted. Don't let your peace and sanity be taken from you. And always understand that many will want you, few will invest in you, and do not confuse their desire with them valuing you.
Juicy! It was the spring of 2012 at the University of Delaware, my alma mater. I was studying, going into the second half of my junior year of civil engineering, studying prop stat, right? Actually getting prop stat in, basically one of the courses that I was actually can very easily master at, unlike the other engineering courses that I was mainly dealing with throughout the course of my undergraduate career. That's for undergraduate tenure, should I say. And I meet this young, attractive, white Argentinian woman, approximately the same age as I am. I was 22 at the time. She's older than me by a couple of months. She was ended up being a transfer coming from UMass Amherst all the way up from the Northeast, and she's from the DMV area. So she also has the same degree as I have, civil engineering, ended up having to graduate probably a year later. Things ended up going well. We ended up becoming like study partners for a bit. Started out as a usual friend out. Everything actually came really chill and all those things, basically had like some fun times at times, basically being study partners here and there, had some interest, asked if she was single or had a boyfriend and all that other stuff, and she said she wanted to stay single and literally wanted to maintain independence, which I thoroughly respect and all of these things. I'm like, all right, I'll just keep it moving. I'll just let it be. Just let it try and keep it up in the wings and all that stuff. That was basically me at the time, literally at 22 years old. But Christian didn't even see some of the subtle signs of like the mistakes that he made literally at the time, and he didn't really fully develop on all the things that literally came about. Fast forward down to the fall of 2012, the 2012 and the 2013 school year, my final year at the University of Delaware, my senior year at the University of Delaware. Feelings that are starting to grow, more investment really came about. Things really didn't really came by and fluster in, and didn't really had the strength to really fully come out and actually to speak my mind on actually what I wanted to say until spring of 2013. Around January, February of 2013, that's when I really started professing about feelings, and that's why I heard about the young white Argentinian saying that she was literally seeing someone at the time, but she didn't want to fully commit because, again, she wanted to try to maintain her independence, but yeah, you out here literally trying to come by and cozy up with like this other dude that came by up in your area. Wasn't really fully interested in her at first, but then again grew interested based on like the woman with the guitars and all that other stuff, but you don't want to fully commit to him, even though he's ready to actually fully commit and actually go all the way. She was at a little bit of a standstill due to the fact that she endured some trauma, psychological trauma from her ex, who was a little bit controlling and nagging about where she was and all these other things and what she's doing and all that other stuff that mainly came about. And also, to even dig a bit further, all the stuff that he done did towards her at the time came from his own personal traumas from another ex that actually cheated on him. So it was some unhealed traumas literally going all the way around beyond insane. So it was very, very unfortunate. You know, I basically spoke my piece on how I felt. Basically, I actually tried to go for a kiss. He blocked it off. Didn't really fully be the sole accuser at the time. 22-year-old Christian had no idea what was really going on. He was naive. You know, basically, as you know, a lot of 22-year-olds mainly are whenever you try to come in the social world. Basically confessed how I felt. Everything went bad. We didn't really fully advance everything. Everything seemed literally back to normal. You know, still got to know each other, still sort of had like the friends and all that stuff. But that's when things literally start to go downhill, right? You know, like it's like I invested in more and everything, things really come by, and now she sort of starts to pull away and everything. She gets a bit unhinged. She texts me saying, oh, we friends. And also she brings it up again based on essentially because I'm actually coming by more, seeing her more than normal and everything, and all this other stuff that mainly came out. And she got a bit spooked out. She actually tweeted ahead saying, I don't know. And things literally got downhill to a point where I asked her what was the last story about. And she replied with, I don't know. So I'm thinking to myself, like, you really know your last stuff was going on, or you're not really comfortable telling me about what's going on? You're literally trying to lie to me, or actually trying to shoo me away based on what's really going on, rather than actually trying to cut me off a while before. And again, she's coming off of professional trauma. She just wants the attention and much validation as possible due to the fact that she fears rejection. Then her whole career, like the whole reputation, may get tarnished at the time. And she got like a lot of insecurities basically in her belt at the time, and so have I. Mine have actually got in the way as well. So I explained the situation to be virtually like close family members and friends, even a friend's mom, basically not knowing how am I going to try and overcome this crazy emotional sickness that I mainly have. And so my friend's mom actually recommended me to actually write a letter on basically how I felt, and I basically did what she told me to do. So I wrote basically what I felt, and I spoke some issues and basically what goes on. My gut tells me that she was confused based on what she was explaining to me. She was basically going off, basically trying to string him along as well as stringing me along as well, you know, based on her situations and everything, because she wouldn't even fully commit to him, because again, they're not technically boyfriend and girlfriend. You know, it's a fucked up mess. I know, it's a completely fucked up mess that a lot of people unfortunately still deal with today. Now, I write the letter. I told her she was making a mistake on what they were mainly doing. I basically gave it to her, And when the next day, she started literally exploding and literally just cutting me off right then and there. And she was explaining to me about the title, saying, oh, we're in a serious relationship with no title and all that stuff. So I never even knew what the heck it was. And I asked them what it was from family members. And they were basically explaining to me that this woman has no idea what she was doing. You know what I mean? So she was like a string along. You hurt my feelings. Stop having feelings for me. I think we should stop hanging out so you have feelings for me more. And it was complete cutoff at the time, which is unfortunately saying a shame. And that's when it didn't really fully click until years later on the signs and interest on like how to sniff them out and how to pick them up and whether or not they interest you and whether or not they're not. And it's still dawned on me ever since. Now, today, I don't know what she's basically doing. I don't care what she's doing at the time. Whatever she does is her business. But I want to try and lay a backdrop to literally the moral of the story and give out another situation that actually literally came by that was a bit eerie similar.
Title really necessary in a relationship?
Feel like they do need a title because it gives validation. It also sets boundaries in the relationship. If you don't have a title in a relationship that you're in, you basically in a situationship. A relationship with no title. No title means no obligation. He or she can tell the opposite sex or the same sex that I am free and single, and they'll throw it in your face when it's time to ask questions. So what Ken said, you need to figure out what you just say.
I simply said that if that is something you require, make it a requirement.
Oh.
Juicy! Scenario number 2. Now, the former that we dealt with was scenario number 1. That was around 10 years ago. Now let's fast forward to 2023. It all started like around last month while I was still working with my dad's medical practice at the time, still working there. And there was this new med school that, who's shadowing actually my dad, who's actually a doctor. And she was basically shadowing him because she's looking to take the MCAT herself. And, she was actually professing like my interest towards me at the time. Now, I was actually well aware that she has a child back at home. She has a child with her partner that they basically share the same bed with, and whose son is currently turning 1 year old. Right? They have their apartments together. They have like the little financial struggles that they had up in there. And the family situation is a wee bit insane, which I'm going to get to in a little bit. But I find out, that, the basic shorty, who's Jamaican, who's actually very attractive and very discreet, 6 years my junior, 26, 27, 26 years old, basically is actually showing some interest in me and actually showing like a very deep, strong interest, towards yours truly, the socially awkward nerd here. And she's actually just coming by, looking to see if we could try to hang out as friends and all this other stuff that came by. And I kind of noticed that she actually didn't like me, but yet you got the situation coming by with your partner, not your man's, not your boyfriend, not your husband, your partner that, you planned a baby with, that you basically had a kid with. You had to delay med school by a year and all this other stuff, And it literally just tried to suck me in my head, which I'm like, I'll spend some time with her, see what her mindset is at. We ended up literally going out of the country for about a couple days, trying to see if I could try to dissect her brain. And things got a little bit awkward based on where she was going, and that's when she started digging up the details within her life. She was basically raised definitely by a married couple who had beefs literally throughout the rest of time, all throughout their marriage, even till today. Her parents still hate each other's guts. Her dad is an actual lifelong alcoholic, which is actually very unfortunate. And not only that, he is mainly a cookie violator. Domestic violence and all, abuse and all, sexual assault and all.
Get stoned!
Very serious charge that she was literally physically abused by her dad And her mom basically was the one that actually tried to mediate the situation. You know, the dad was also a psychological abuser as well, and also a deceptor. So much so that she literally ended up having to move away, blocks away, and not live with them again from the house due to the trauma that she has received, as well as her other siblings. Sin and shame. So she tells me about the story that came by. She also tells me that she wished she would have met me and my dad sooner, way before that she met her partner and before he had kids. And that's what makes the situation way, way, way more complicated than it really needs to be. You know what I mean? So it's a bit of a mess. What really went on, because she knows she really wants to get with me. She knows she wants to commit with me, but she doesn't want to try and get too intimate because she fears that she's going to complicate way further things. And I basically was discussing with her, saying, what are you afraid of? Juicy! You know, we out of the country. We're not even actually discussing things low key. You know, I never even told her about the whole, you know, joy mode and condoms. I never even discussed that with her. But, you know, we're basically away, you know, even if we don't even have scrambled eggs, right? We don't have sex, right? For that matter. You know, we actually still cuddle up, maybe actually trying to spread the same bed with each other if you still feel comfortable. You know what I mean? But it is complete madness. It is complete insanity based on her unfortunate unhealed traumas given the situation. You know, her literally planning a baby in their 20s, basically with her partner that I basically quote unquote on, that she's yet to marry. You know what I mean? But yet she almost literally repeated the same cycle that her parents literally went through, even though with marriage and all that stuff. Or maybe she may have used that as a cover just to try and escape the house. You know, who knows? It's a bit of a clusterfuck all the way around, and it is much high level insanity. And those types of relationships, I tell y'all, are like the greatest part in all of this whole ordeal. Beyond insane.
I've been waiting to pick your brains about this, ladies.
Okay.
You know how sometimes you're in the friend zone, and then you're in the love zone, and sometimes you're just lost in the middle? Well, a young man on the gram posted a good question to his followers, and I want to know what you think. It says, if you're exclusive with someone, but not in a relationship, what should you introduce them as? What are your thoughts?
Mr. Leroy.
What? No, that's way too formal.
Mr. Lee, that's what I call
What?
my grandma. Like, all her little, she say my little friend.
Oh,
Mr.
Leroy. No, not little friend. I feel like this my man, this my girl, this my woman.
No, they saying it's not a relationship.
That's not a relationship. I didn't say boyfriend, I didn't say girlfriend, I said this my lady.
Oh.
This is my lady. This is
They're
my lady.
still establishing a relationship.
No.
That's like a lady friend.
Garcelle. This is Garcelle.
Exactly, a name.
This is
because
John.
first of all, that's
About
friends.
Friend is a friend. Do you know what I mean? If
person
you're
I'm having
sleeping
sex
with
with.
someone,
How
if
about
you're
that?
intimate with them,
Would you
I
like,
don't think
hi,
that's
this
a
is
friend.
Garcelle, she's my
This
lover.
who I'm banging.
No, hi, this is Garcelle. If we, what would you say?
This who I'm knocking boots with. This who I'm
Don't
banging.
do that.
This who we smashing.
No.
I feel like this is my lady. Sounds like this is the woman I came here with today. She's not necessarily my boyfriend,
that's
my
too much.
girlfriend.
That's
I
too
just
much.
feel like
No,
it's
just
my lady.
my name.
It's my lady Garcelle.
Yeah, no, but if that's your
Garcelle.
lady, you're actually putting a label on it.
Are you not a lady?
Yeah, but you said my lady,
Yeah.
which makes
okay.
it, you know,
When you
possessive
say
and
you're
couple.
exclusive in
Really?
sex,
You wouldn't be exclusive and not be
Exactly.
to not have a title anyways. I think that's probably
first
why
of
you're
all,
having a hard time
y'all,
with
you know what? This
Like,
is the
how does
thing.
this work?
Yeah.
If you are exclusive in sex, you are in a relationship. Stop trying to pretend like you don't. You dealing with somebody that's just afraid to come up with a title and claim you in public. And I have an issue with that. If they have an issue with saying girlfriend or
You shouldn't be sleeping
then
with them.
you shouldn't be sleeping with
Right.
them. Thank you.
I think that there may be a chance that it's really
Yes.
not exclusive.
Then what
Okay,
y'all- okay, first of all,
You know what I'm saying?
First of all,
Wait, do you want a label? Do you need a label? Do you think we need a
First
label
of all,
more so
if
than
y'all
men?
just
Yes, I need a
exclusive,
label.
but-
I like a label.
stick with me.
When it comes to that.
Stick with me.
For me, it's more than a label. I need
Stick
us
with
to have
me.
a very clear understanding of what this
we're
is.
doing. Right.
And if a label helps you figure that out.
They just said that we're exclusive, but it's not a relationship.
No, I know.
So if that's the case, why y'all even going places together?
Right.
Because there are some men who want to be exclusive with you but don't want to give you a title.
Oh, no,
And I'm
then
sure
that-
there's women like that too. And if you decide to
When you gonna go to
accept
think I
that-
introduce you to?
Oh, I'm not going anywhere with you. But for those who do want to go somewhere with somebody, they need to figure out what they'd like to be called. What you
Call
want to
me
be
by
called.
my
I'm
name.
not going nowhere
Call
with
me
you.
by my name. If we're not a couple, then just say this is Garcelle.
There you go.
I think that's
They
it.
say, who is Garcelle? Who I'm banging?
No, oh my God. What would you want
Doing
them
the
to say? And who is
nasty
Garcelle? Is Garcelle a coworker? Who is Garcelle?
Who's gonna say who is Garcelle though?
If you say, is she your coworker?
Let them know
No.
Garcelle. Everybody know who Garcelle
No.
is.
Just know. Garcelle
No.
said the answer to that is, watch, we're in a relationship. No.
We're
Y'all-
exclusive.
You two are exclusively having sex with each other.
Yeah.
And you go somewhere. Introduce her just as Garcelle.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Garcelle.
Oh, nice. Pleasure to meet you, Garcelle. Are you
Nice to
guys
meet you, too.
coworkers?
No, I'm banging.
No. You can't say I'm banging.
Stop letting. She needs to stop drinking that drink.
What would you like her to say? What would you like her to say? Are you guys, how do you know
this
each
how
other?
you solve it.
We're dating.
You tell the person,
We're dating.
But
no,
you're not dating.
They don't want that.
You are exclusively having sex.
You are only exclusive having sex. That is it. That's the problem.
He's giving my
No.
private parts a title, but he won't give me a title.
Exactly.
Like, that's what's happening here.
Adrian,
My
thank
suggestion,
you for that.
My
Thank you for
suggestion
that.
would be to talk to the person and y'all establish what y'all want.
My suggestion is to talk to the hand.
Juicy. Alright, y'all. And I want to try and shift my focus to the gentleman here. So, actually, let me start off with both ladies and gentlemen first, and I'm just going to put my focus to the gentleman here. So, what I want to discuss about the whole moral of the story, and when it comes to relationships, is what is and what should be by various people. Now, first, I want to try and discuss the what is, right? And what is that relationships of all forms aren't really fully black and white as they claim to be. Even though you have some that are actually well structured and actually well sound and old school and can actually literally last, literally pass all the way through time, all the way till death do them part. You know what I mean? Those are the ones like the strong relationships, the marriages, all these things, the loyalty and all that stuff. You know, they're the ones that mainly stand through the test of time, through all the adversities and the hardships that literally a couple has to go through. You know, they stand in there. You know, the boyfriend and girlfriends at times. You know, the marriages at times. You know what I'm saying? And then there's this little gray area that's literally all scribbled up and all crazy all the way inside, like, hey. You see what I'm saying? You got this crazy area, you know, obviously you got the friends with benefits, you know, you got the side pieces, and you got the pimps, you know, the claps of cheeks. You feel me? So you got these ordeals here, and then you have this little phenomena of serious relationship with no title that isn't just, it's done by ladies, but also men too. But even those areas, when the cases of the men doing it to ladies, you know, they try to use them as side piece for the time being, just to get their rocks up and really get their knots count. That's basically like the whole moral of the story. Still have a little bit of some traumas though. It stems from like some unhealed traumas as well. They get to fix with like a therapist. But still, nonetheless, a lot of men would literally do that for that reason, have some side piece up in that case. Now, the serious relationship with no title or partner, quote, quote, or partners, quote, quote, it's a fucking mess, man. It's a motherfucking mess like crazy. It is so unpredictable. You know, it causes so much craziness. It causes so much confusion and possibly so much toxicity to those involved that if you literally try to sweep a woman up or even a man up that's really involved in that type of relationship, You know what I mean? That type of ordeal, it could get you literally in a world of chaos, and it could literally have you emotionally drained all the way down to your teeth. Take it from someone who actually was literally sipping head over heels on the first scenario, based on that scenario, thinking that, oh, if I get this woman doing that way, I have a chance to actually create a good opening, maybe I could lock her down. While in reality, that's not really the case, which I'm going to literally discuss with you, basically literally down the line here. It is a fucking mess. It is beyond insanity. It is a shit show when dealing with these types of relationships, to the point where they may not even last long due time, to the point where eventually, if either partners don't even advance or actually fully commit or even get married, it's gonna come to a screeching halt. It's gonna come to an implosion, to the point where they either be just like friends and actually just not even talk to each other ever again, or if they do share a kid, which literally makes things much, much crazier and much more chaotic. They gotta be dealing with the whole co-parenting situation, the baby mama, baby daddy situation that's beyond insane. Now, I want to shift my focus up here to the gentlemen in regards to that whole situation. Now that I've discussed the two scenarios of the up front gentlemen, I want to try and give a moment to actually give you like a good guessing game to see what's the main difference between scenario 1 and scenario 2. I just want to try and give it a moment for a bit, let y'all think this through. What do you think is the difference between those two scenarios here? If you get interest, you got it. Just like that. Interest. Level of interest. Level of interest towards you. Right? Scenario number 1. The white Argentine woman was never ever interested in me on like a romantic level from the very beginning. And the mistake that I made in this whole deal is not really showing my true intent from the beginning in the spring of 2012 when I first saw her. Right? I should have actually just came out guns blazing. I should have actually just simply asked her for like some quick date for like some restaurant literally off of Main Street up by East Main Street up in Newark, Delaware. Probably may have gone to like some cheap coffee there, or maybe like a little walk in the park, or even like a walk through campus, and try to actually like a quick hangout and all that stuff. I should have done all that to really try to steal the deal. And if she says yes, good. If she says no, I'll fucking, wish her well her loss, keep it moving, go talk to someone different. Don't be wasting time on that same person that's literally going to try and drain you up emotionally and psychologically. And I didn't sense that at the time. Christian at 22 had no idea how to sniff out interest levels, unlike the Christian that you see today at 32 years old. All right? That's like a huge indicator, especially when you're dealing with someone that has the serious relationship with no title. All right? If they are not into you at all, odds are they probably may not be interested in you up in the future. There's a very slim chance they probably may be interested in you today. Especially with all the stuff that come out whenever you tell them something that they don't want to hear. That level of charm is still going to stick with them, possibly throughout their life. Once you start meeting up and once you start unexpectedly seeing each other and bumping into heads, the flashbacks mainly start coming in. And the chance of you literally trying to get back together and actually trying to advance seriously at that point would probably be slim to none. All right? So when dealing with that type of situation, when dealing with that type of madness, if the interest is not there, if she's not chasing you, if that woman is not even chasing you at all, and she's trying to use you up as an orbiter just so she can actually maintain her validation to actually cover her insecurities, ghost her immediately. Do not talk to her again. Let her figure out her own devices. Let her figure out her own stuff. Don't even respond to her messages. Delete her number. Good night. Delete all photos. All that is gone. Goodbye. Done. Don't speak to her again. She does not belong in your life. You are incompatible. It's just that simple. She does not deserve to be part of your future at all. And she has proven that. And I promise you that. Now, when it comes to scenario 2, scenario 2 is going to be much more in your favor. Scenario 2 shows a level of interest towards you, at the very least. And with scenario 2, we know the Jamaican chick was definitely interested in me from the beginning, basically on like a sexual level, at least a romantic level. But she doesn't want to fully advance due to the fear that it could wreck the union between the partner and the child apart. And due to the chaos that they basically made, and again, she planned to have the child at 26, 25, you know? She planned to have that child around her mid-20s with the partner, right? And they haven't even been married yet. And that's the thing. And you know what the greatest part about it is, they're dealing with like an expensive apartment up in Brooklyn that she couldn't even afford an apartment to literally just get it to try and get by herself to take her kid with her. You know what I mean? But y'all coming by saying that you're partners, but yet you're saying the dude that you basically with, you know, you're not really interested in like that. You're not really clapping cheeks like that. And you got the tinglings up in there, but yet you won't even at least buy an air bed to at least sleep in the second room. You say you got 2 rooms, right? 2 bedrooms, or in the family that you have, but yet you won't even at least either spend like $1,000 just for another bed, or not even that, like $30, $40 just for like an advanced air bed for you to literally sleep right next to your child to make sure that he's taken care of. You won't do that? Uh-oh. Chaos, y'all. Chaos, y'all. And again, stems from emotional and psychological trauma. You know what I'm saying? Don't even have the money to actually try and move out of our own place and literally try to split and literally be cool co-parents and actually trying to handle business for the child. You know what I'm saying? Get all the stuff in order. When you're dealing with a woman that hasn't really fully sorted herself out like that, you know, the best way to handle something like that, and like when you're dealing with a woman that is fully interested in you romantically and sexually, but she got all this craziness, is just let her be for the time being. Still plan to, you know, hang out every now and then. Because basically with her situation, she's still saving for the MCAT so that she could go to medical school, and she's dealing with the EAT stuff. So she is literally overworked while dealing with a child at home. So that's how insane this whole stuff is. You know, that's how messy this shit literally gets. Alright?
Juicy!
And when you're dealing with something like this, it's best to still talk to her in person if you guys still working together. It's best to try and limit your interactions and limit your texts between them so that, you know, the partner doesn't find out, so that they don't have to really get themselves, you don't have to really get yourself all trapped up in a deeper hole, because God knows what his mindset's going to be. You know what the mindset of basically that partner is. You don't know how he's going to act up. That's the scary part, right? That's the thing that you also have to focus on as well. Minimize your texting. Make your plans really out in advance. Whenever there's open come up, still hang out from time to time. You know, don't get me wrong, you still hang out. And whenever opportunity comes by where she really feels more intimate and actually feels much more comfy towards you, and actually just trying to use you as escape, because that's all she's doing. She's literally using you as escape. In my case, I'm the escape from her insanity. You know what I mean? Whereas her coming by up in her house with the kid and the partner and dealing with the parents, dealing with the alcoholic and abusive father, that's torture. That's trauma. She's looking at me as an escape. So what you do in a situation like this, which can be a bit messy, is still minimize the conversation, still see other women. Focus on you. Get yourself in order. Still talk to other women, still hook up with other women from time to time as well. You know, see if you can try and get your notch counts, but do not put your priority on that at all. Sorry about the fall, this stands a little bit iffy. My apologies. Don't put, do not try and make her a top priority to literally swoop in, because all that's going to do is generate more neediness towards her. You're showing neediness towards her to the point where she's going to pull away more and more and more and more. You don't want that. Continue handling your business, continue meeting up with other women, continue dating other women, still hang out with that woman that's interested you from time to time as well, and see where her mind is at. And if she does want to get frisky with you, and she does feel comfortable literally sleeping you in the same bed. If she does feels more comfortable, having a little bit opening of 6. When it's on, it's on. You feel me? When it's on, it's on. You know what I'm saying? You got that opening, you take it right.
If you're wondering what a situationship is, it's this. It's those 3 to 4 to 5 month relationships where you're really into someone, things are amazing. It's like you're in the honeymoon phase. You're like, I'm head over heels for them. You start to envision a life together with the family and the dog and the house, and you go on the trips. It's just like everything's perfect and amazing. And then all of a sudden one day, the person starts pulling away and you're like, what's going on? Why are you acting this way? Like, you're not supposed to act this way. Like, we're supposed to always be together and sending text messages and planning our vacations. Like, what's going on? And then all of a sudden, they just dump you out of nowhere. And so it's called a situationship because it's kind of like, okay, I have a situation. I'm with this person and we used to be super in love or maybe we just like really liked each other. And then out of nowhere, things just started to like fizzle out. And then they just totally did like a 180 and they either like ghost you or they dump you, and it just like you're left heartbroken. So you call it a situationship because it's like that is the situation. And so the situation can change from the beginning being like in love to the end being dumped and heartbroken to after the heartbreak of you start to enter into the process of, okay, I want to get them back. I want to make them jealous. I'll do whatever it takes to get them mad. Like, you start going delusional because you just want them back so badly, or you want to get back at them. And so that's the situation at the very end of the relationship. So all in all, if you're in a relationship with someone and you actually haven't put that label of boyfriend and girlfriend on the relationship, then you're in a situationship and it might not end well. So I would recommend having the conversation of being like, what the hell are we? I know no one wants to hear that, but like, listen, if you don't know if you're boyfriend and girlfriend, then you're basically either like hooking up or you're in a situationship. And if you like the person and you want to be boyfriend and girlfriend and you're not, then you're basically just like, putting yourself through hell for no reason. So I hope this helps.
Now for the ladies, right? Now that it's just about the whole what is of the situation, I understand that you guys are still traumatized based on your whole ordeals with your past relationships and your past mess ups and all the past crazy that you had, even if you had pregnancy basically young, all these things while you're actually trying to deal with schooling and all that other stuff while putting like added burden towards yourself. You know what I mean? And what I suggest you guys mainly do is a situation, just leave the relationships alone and still stay single and just go straight to therapy. Go speak with like a psychologist, try and handle your ills so that, they can literally try and provide a strategy for you and try and get your life up on track, not just academically, but also socially as well, so you don't get caught up in those emotional pitfalls. That's also one step. And also, when you're dealing with those types of serious relationships and no titles and all this crazy nonsense y'all been having, not only is it show trauma based on your behalf, but you're also showing selfishness based on your insecurities on that as well, right? You're leading the other guy on. Like, if you want to see any other guy that you have coming up, and then homeboy doesn't want to actually see any other girl that he wants to come up, you want to do a thing, why not fully commit and just be boyfriend and girlfriend? That's all. That's how it should be normally, right? That's how it mainly should be, and it'll be a lot simpler and be less complicated, to mainly handle all these other ills and not get through all these unnecessary pitfalls and all these unnecessary craziness that you guys that mainly are dealing with. All right, that would be the best way to go. But some women may just be like, hey, Christian, are you crazy? You're hurting my feelings. Why are you doing this? And this may not be the advice, that a lot of ladies that are in these relationships want to hear. But to be honest, it's definitely much needed. You know what I mean? If this type of stuff continues all the way out, especially, it's going to come to a head to the point where that dude that you're seeing is going to get fed up and he's going to give you an ultimatum. Otherwise, he's going to literally dip out. Because what you're doing, you're trying to use him as a placeholder in the host, possibly. You're probably going possibly using him as a placeholder in the hopes of actually trying to get like another guy that you're really truly attracted to literally down the line, which was the case in what I saw whenever I saw that white teen girl come back up at Delaware Alumni Union up at a bar, literally off of East Main Street. I saw him with the dude that does not even recollect with the gentleman that he described. So obviously they broke apart, and she ended up getting like with a new dude within months, and they out here hooking up and all this other craziness. So it's all the craziness, and mainly came by in advance. So it's possible you could use him as a placeholder due to the fact that you may not be mentally ready, or your traumas are still there and your traumas are still unhealed. Get them healed immediately. Get all those ills out immediately and get your life set up in order as quickly as possible before it can get worse for you literally down the line. You know what I mean? This is the stuff that I truly fear for, you know, when I see women that actually pursue these types of relationships with no title. All they gonna get themselves in is a line of chaos and a line of insanity to the point that could literally blow them up right in their face if they're not careful. And again, this type of stuff is mainly done by insecure women, confused women at that, and don't even thoroughly know what the heck they're doing at the time. Now, like those insecure, immature women that mainly do these things, some of them actually eventually did mature up out of that phase and then up finding stable relationships, and then currently are having successful relationships right now as we speak. And there are others that are still bitter literally today based off of that due to the poor decision making that they have done have. So again, get yourself straight up to therapy. Speak with a professional, a mental health expert or a psychiatrist or a psychologist trying to help you out with your ills immediately and try and solve all the mental ills that you've been going on up in your life. That'll be the best way to go. And if you're getting caught up in like a dude that want to try and play those games, you know, and him dictating the serious lips with no title, you know, more than likely you being placed as the side piece at the very least, or you being placed as the trick or the jump off chick or the friends and benefits chick they want to try and get his rocks off. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he does want to commit to you eventually, and if he gets that out of his system, and if he does mature within a year or maybe within a couple years, that could definitely work. But if he does not, I would not even take that gentleman seriously moving forward, and I'll literally ghost him and leave him alone. All right? And to close out, I talk about what is in all forms of relationship when it comes to the black and white and the gray. Now, to what should be's, I understand that I see like a lot of people in general, men and women that are up in the dating space and the relationship space that mainly talk about like what relationships should be. You know, men gotta be primary providers, women gotta be cooking and cleaning the house. Women shouldn't be having all these big time jobs at all, which is beyond delusional to me, in my opinion. And you have like certain women saying, you know, the career's got to come first. You know, the man got to take care of the kids and all that. Some women have that mindset. Others may say, hey, let's be like some power couple and compete with one another, see who's gonna be the highest position and try to rise up career ranks one-on-one, like a pound for pound ordeal, you know, rather than really trying to build together, even actually try to build a business together. You know what I'm saying? Actually trying to go that way. You know what I'm saying? Where are you at? Why aren't you investing? And all that other stuff that actually comes by, you know. And you see a lot of women that
Get stoned!
My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I just got stoned.
Get stoned!
By my camera. All right? Anyway, you know, as I was saying before, you know, we have a lot of people that actually trying to focus on like how relationships should be, you know, why certain people shouldn't get married in the West, why people shouldn't get married up in the West, you know, then all the divorce rates get cleaned out, why dudes should have multiple wives, why women should have multiple men to marry. It's a bit insane and it's a bit chaotic. You got a bunch of conflicting opinions and even divisive opinions. They literally button heads literally all the time. And I'm not here to try to dictate how you want to try and dictate all your relationships. That's you and your life. That's you and your business. But the most important thing is get yourself checked out. Get yourself as psychologically and emotionally healed as much as possible. So you don't have to worry about doing all this unnecessary hurt and all the unhealed traumas that you really got going on up in your life. Because the main reason why you're having all these spewed hatred rhetoric towards women and men, all this other craziness of opposite sex, and doing all this other grayest nonsense is because of unhealed traumas, just like you see with these two scenarios literally right here. All right? And that's what I really want to bring up. Stoned!
Get stoned!
You know what I'm saying? You know, don't get yourself caught up in fucking bullshit. Literally trying to can really affect like the rest of your livelihood, whether it's your academics, you know, your career, your finances, all these other things. You need to literally sort yourself out before you're literally actually trying to even think about considering yourself a relationship with literally the opposite sex that's more so in tune with you. You have to make sure that you're fully mature enough to be in a relationship in order for you to literally try and dig into that balance. And most importantly, you make sure you treat that partner, whether it's a man or a woman, with respect. And make sure you give that proper investment with respect. And if he or she does choose to stray where it may be, you know, let him. That person ain't really the right fit for you. And with that, Christian Paul from the Nerd Chronicles is signing out. Alright? Expect the craziness of the deaths of the red pill incels and the boss bays very, very soon.
Get stoned!
Juicy.
Juicy!